Hi, welcome to my kitchen. Thank you for coming in and cooking with Andrea. Today we are going to be making empanadas. A couple weeks ago I made my empanada dough from scratch and I went ahead and wrapped it and I put the video on YouTube for you guys to see. This is what I froze it in, is my food saver. And it came out perfect. My dough is perfect. This is what my dough looks like. So I just wanted to let you know, you can really make this dough. You can keep it in the freezer and it'll be perfectly fine. And I'm going to throw this away though. I love my food saver machine because I can pack anything and it stays nice for months. I actually have had things in my freezer for over a year and it stayed very nice. As long as it doesn't break the seal, it stays really nice. This is the rest of my dough. I'm going to be making 4 empanadas today to show you, and then I'm going to put my dough in the refrigerator right now and let it cool, stay cool, and then this way I can use it the rest of the week and make more. So I just wanted to explain how I kept my dough and how it really came out and how nice it is. So we're going to get started. I started rolling a few of my empanadas, some of the dough, and then I'm going to go ahead, roll a couple more, and we are going to be baking today. Next time I do empanadas, we're going to be frying. I love fried, but empanadas that are baked, they're healthier. These empanadas I'm going to be doing are going to be for breakfast. So that's why I say, we're going to bake these ones. I really love when it's got a good potato filling and they're fried. It's really good. I normally do not fry my breakfast ones. I have never fried my breakfast ones. I've always just put them in the oven because that's the first way I learned how to make an empanada, was in the oven. I didn't even know you could fry them at first for the longest times. I just thought, oh, you just put them in the oven. It's going to be like an apple pie or cherry pie. I think that's the first kind of empanada I ever made, was fruit filled. And boy, it sure was good. And then, oh my goodness, somebody introduced me to a fried one. And I was like, oh my goodness, that is so delicious. But fried food is not as good for you as baked food. So I'm going to stay on the straight and narrow today. Can't promise what I'll do tomorrow, but I'm going to try today. So I'm just rolling these out so you see how I roll them out. Doesn't have to be perfect because I'm going to use the empanada press. It's so funny. I never had one of these before. My niece, Tony, bought them for me. It makes it so much easier because before I would just roll the dough, fill it, flip it over, use my fork, which I'm still going to use my fork, but boy, this sure makes it so nice, and boy, I sure know how much dough to roll. This is the first one I pulled apart. It's a little bit on the thinner side, but it's okay. It works just as good. We don't want the dough too thick, so like this one has to be just a little bit thinner, like that. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to put the dough on the empanada press, and then I'm going to move everything over here and flip the board the other way so you guys can see what I'm doing. I love making empanadas and things like that. It just puts a joy in my heart. I love trying to bake things, which I'm not a really good baker. I'm learning how to be a better baker, but I really like baking stuff. I like frying stuff too. I actually just love cooking. That's my favorite thing to do, is to cook. Okay, I'm going to move all my stuff over here so you can see. I scrambled 4 eggs and I salt and peppered them. That's all I did to them. I'm going to make 2 and 2 kinds of empanadas today. So I am very much a corned beef fan. I love the can. I love making it fresh, which today, I took out some corned beef because I'm going to actually make a corned beef and cabbage dinner tonight for our family. So I make my own corned beef. I put it in my smoker, or I'll put it in my crock pot, and I do it. So I love corned beef any way you can get it. I also love roast beef hash. If you take your old roast beef, pieces of your roast beef, and just boil some potatoes, and then what you want to do is put a light fry on them if you do it from scratch. Mine's just a simple can of corned beef hash because I want to try that. I love corned beef so much, but I have never tried corned beef in an empanada before. I've had eggs, I have ham, and I have cheese. It's a mixture of Manchego and mozzarella. So I love those cheeses together with my eggs. So I'm going to go ahead and stuff this one. This one is my smaller one, so I am actually going to put the corned beef in there and see how it's going to do. I've never tried this one before, but I've made a lot of empanadas before in my lifetime, but I have not tried this one. So we're going to give this a whirl because I'm what's called an overstuffer. I love to stuff my empanadas, and they do not need to be stuffed that much, but I love to stuff them. So that's my thing. So I thought, well, if I find something that's already put together, it sticks real well, hey, maybe I can get by with a little bit of overstuffing. We're going to try this. I am going to try and press my empanada like this with no egg wash. A lot of times I'll use egg wash though when it's not sticking at first, and it seems like after I do it a couple times, everything sticks really well. So I'm just going to go ahead and take it out. It's going to come out just like that. And then I'm going to take a clean fork, not one. I hate to do dishes, so I was thinking about grabbing this one. That's bad. So I'm just going to crimp it. And you have to do both sides. Okay, actually, so what I'm going to do is, because it didn't crimp the way I wanted to crimp, so I'm going to go ahead and egg wash it like this, just in case yours doesn't, because every once in a while, like I said, I don't know what I'm doing wrong, but it works. So I've just taken a little bit on the outside of the dough, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to crimp the dough over like this. Maybe my dough was too thin right there, because like I said, this was my thinner piece. So I'm just going to do the outside of the dough, crimp it over like this, and then I'm going to just use my fork and press it down. And then I'll flip it over and use my fork as well. Like I said, there is no perfect science. I mean, maybe to some people there are, and they can just, some people can do things better than other people can do just normally and natural. But as long as it tastes good and you crimp the edges, you're good to go, and it will come in the future. Like I said, sometimes I don't know. I never really had that problem when I was actually didn't have the empanada press. But boy, it's so nice to have this press because it makes everything so much more uniform. But because I was doing my dough the other way, I probably had it so thick on the ends that it would roll no matter what, because I just had it so incredibly thick. But I would say if you have one of these, use it. It's so much better. And see, makes everything look nice. So what I'm going to do is lay it here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to egg wash the top. I lined a pan with parchment paper so that I don't have any sticking, it doesn't ruin my dough. It should just, when it's done, I should be able to just grab it with the spatula. Okay, so now we're going to go to this next one. And we're going to fill this guy here. I'm going to have extra dough. So you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to just go ahead and use my other side. Put it down, because the other side will break it off perfectly. The other one I just barely had enough dough for. The only thing is, when I do it like that, I want to take my rolling pin again, and I want to just stretch it just a little bit. That's why I say, boy, it's nice when you roll them just perfect. Now we're going to flip it over. See, it works perfect. Looks perfect. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little bit of egg. Now see, I already know I'm grabbing too much egg already. I can already tell. So let me put some of that egg down. I'm just going to take a teeny bit of ham. A teeny bit of cheese. In my opinion, nothing needs too much. Oh, did you hear that come from me? That's amazing. Usually I'm the overstuffer. So now I'm going to try, because my dough is perfect, not so thin like my first one. And I'm going to take it out. And let's see if I'm going to get a crimp on this. You know what? I don't know if I'm going to be able to get a crimp on this one. I'm going to flatten my dough, and I'm just going to do the same thing I did. Just run with it. It's no big deal. It is what it is. So I'm going to take it. I'm going to do just a little bit of egg wash on the outside. I'm not putting it in the inside where the food is. You can. It'll cook off. People eat raw eggs every day. The only thing is little children shouldn't have an egg that's not done, as well as somebody who has underlying conditions or is very elderly. You do have to be careful with eggs. My eggs are cage-free, organic. I'm kind of into that, learning to eat a little bit healthier, in my opinion. As you get older, you have to do that, unfortunately. I thought you could be the other way around, whereas you could be, you could eat whatever you want when you get old. Who cares? You're already old. No, it doesn't work that way, unfortunately. There's blood pressure, there's diabetes, there's all this other garbage you can get. So, unfortunately, you have to be better as you get older and do that terrible thing called exercise. No, I'm just joking. I'm going to flip it over. I'm going to seal this side with my fork. And then we'll be good to go. I actually have 3 or 4 different presses too. I'm making the bigger ones. I'm doing better with the bigger ones. It seems like I'm not overstuffing as bad. So this is going to be an egg and a ham and cheese one. I'm going to do another one. And I also have my oven heating on 350. It's been that way for about 25 minutes now. So I'm going to go ahead and stuff this one with the potato, or the corned beef, I should say. And I think corned beef needs nothing else. I think corned beef is that good, in my opinion. I'm a big fan of corned beef. Okay, now I'm going to take off my extra dough. You could take off your extra dough right here as well. You can cut it or take it off, but the reason I'm doing it this way is because I'm having a hard time sealing mine, which I said, just use some egg wash and you'll be just fine. You know, absolutely fine. Okay. I think I got some overstuffage there. Okay, I'm just gonna seal the bottom with my egg wash. I love being in the kitchen cooking. It's just such therapy. Beautiful. I love it. And then I get to create things, and if they turn out so bad, I don't have to tell anybody. But I'm one of those always telling myself, I tell my son, my husband, my niece, my mom. She just laughs at me. She goes, oh man, honey, many a times did I mess up something in the kitchen. And I think the more creative you want to be, you're going to have to take that risk and kind of make some dishes that are, oh my goodness gracious, what the heck was I thinking? Wait, maybe I forgot to think that day. Good Lord. I tell you. But the more I make these, oh, I love making them. And it's so funny, when you work a lot of hours, you do not have time to stand in the kitchen and bake or to cook like you do when you're home or something. So all my life I've always worked and had a pretty intense job. So it's really nice to be able to be in the kitchen. I still have to work. I just don't work quite as much. So I get to cook a little bit more. Actually, my job is cooking, so that's kind of cool. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and flatten. And I'm just going to pull off the extra dough right here. Makes it really nice. That's one thing about the presses that make it really nice. You can go ahead and do it before or after. Makes no difference. Go with the flow. Everything will turn out fine. If it doesn't, try it again. I guarantee you, next 2 or 3 times, it'll come out. Sooner or later, it shall come out. Or you just don't do that recipe ever. That's what I say. Okay, we're almost done. Now I'm going to just take it and fold it, and then press it with my fork. And then we're going to get them cooking for about 15 to like 15-20 minutes. Get a nice brown on them. Remember, all your ingredients inside are cooked, so all you're really doing is cooking your dough till you feel comfortable. But it has to go for at least 15-20 minutes. Some people say only 10-12. I'm one of those. I like it about 15-20 minutes. I'd rather be a little bit more done. Plus, I'm one of those, I like golden brown, I like crunchy. Man, there's some things I can even eat. Like if I burn my toast, it will not offend me. I will eat it. I even read somewhere in a magazine that if you eat burnt toast, you're in a healthier situation than people who don't. So there's a pro and a con to everything. Okay, all my empanadas are done. So the side that I put up, like I said, I've seen some where people do it super fancy. I'm not as fancy as far as rolling, but I want to deliver on flavor. That's my thing. I'm into flavor, big flavors. I like seasoned well. I like cooked well. I enjoy cooking, so that's my thing. But I would probably be into flavors, like I'm into spice. Not too hot, though, that you can't taste your food. Like I could never do one of those challenges where it's 15,000 Scoville, because then I feel I would not enjoy my food. I want to enjoy my food. I want it to be flavorful and a little bit of a spice. So that's how I am. But technique will come. As you do it more and more, one day you'll roll something super perfect and go, did I do that? And yes, you did do that. Might surprise yourself, but you'll do it. Just like I said, worry about flavor right now. Then worry about technique as you get more into it. So everything is nice and egg washed. We're going to go ahead and put this in the oven, and I'll be right back. Welcome back. Empanadas are done. The empanadas took actually 25 minutes to cook. So I'm going to go ahead and open one up. They look great. I just want to show you. They're done on the bottom. Everything's nice and golden brown. So I'm going to go ahead and open one, and we're going to try it. Always take my pizza cutter so I don't mess things up. Okay, this one is going to be our corned beef hash that we were going to experiment with. Let's give it a try. Very hot. Very hot. It's good. It's corned beef hash and empanada. It's absolutely beautiful. The dough is nice and flaky. This is my experiment. This is actually a pretty good experiment. Now I would go ahead and take my own corned beef and make my own potato and actually put it in here because it does taste good. So I'm very, very thrilled on how these came out. I'm going to go ahead and I am going to cut them so we can try them here at home, me and my family. And I just wanted to show you the egg and ham one. I'm also going to try that one and see how that tastes. Nice and hot. Tastes very good. Looks very good. It tastes very good. I'm really excited about the corned beef one though, because that was totally a fun experiment. If you like the content, please like and subscribe. And thank you very much.